What is going on, everyone? Lauren Sisler here with AL.com, ready for another edition of SEC Insider, brought to you by Keep Alabama Beautiful. Week 8. We're heading into week 8 of the college football season. Auburn coming off a road win against then number 17 Arkansas, 38-23. And to break things down, Tom Green, everybody. Tom Green, you obviously got to make the trip to Fayetteville for this one. And let's just kind of go off the top as we sort of explore this matchup with Auburn and how things unfolded. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, they go in, they get the win against LSU in some Houdini type ways with the Bo Nix performance. And then, of course, then Georgia. We won't rehash all of that. It's Georgia, the number one team in the country. And then they go on the road to Arkansas, where Auburn has known to struggle. But, and kind of reading your post and your article from the weekend and sort of how you laid it all out, the blueprint for this offense and what Harsin brought with him and what he is hoping for, what did you see that showed that flash of this Harsin-led offense?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the last 3 weeks of Auburn's offense before this game, and they really were just like leaning on the passing game a lot more, really depending on, whether it was Bo Nix or TJ Finley against Georgia State to kind of carry that offense, and kind of got away from their downhill running mentality. The run-pass split was skewed further in the pass side the last few games. But then this week, they got back to kind of more balance. They ran the ball a lot more, even though they weren't always effective. They did run the ball in some key spots and were able to do so. And then Bo Nix only attempted 26 passes, and they still took advantage of his legs, especially late in the game. Really the result was, one of the arguably the best game of Bo Nix's career, certainly the best game on the road and against a ranked opponent. He was 21 of 26 for 292 yards, 2 passing touchdowns, both on explosive plays, which this offense has lacked at times this season, and then a touchdown run to seal the game there late. This is what Brian Harsin kind of had in mind for this offense. Obviously, they want to get a little bit more production out of that run game, but, we saw some things kind of come together, and they kind of, like you said, laid the blueprint out, kind of elevated the ceiling of what this offense can be when they bring everything together. I think, certainly that last drive when they were able to seal the game, it was a 12-play, 75-yard drive. They did some things well in the run game. Bo Nix completed 3 or 4 passes, and then, just sealed it with, 2 big runs, one on third down on a play that we haven't seen all season, out of a formation we haven't seen all season, kind of a fake reverse for a quarterback sweep where he was able to convert the first down. And then his touchdown was out of an empty set. It was an RPO QB draw where he just kind of maneuvered his way into the end zone. That's, something else that we haven't really seen from them this season. And, I think a lot of credit goes to Mike Bobo for the game plan and the game that he called. But yeah, this is definitely kind of what Harsin envisioned when he brought Mike Bobo on to kind of, combine their ideas together and what he wants to see out of this offense.
Yeah, so I think the key words there, balance, you hit on that quite a bit. Obviously with the balance and then the execution, being able to execute in the way that they did. I think Bo Nix, perhaps one of his best games of his career, especially on the road for him. And, then on top of that, the play calling. And I think the kind of the perfect storm of what maybe this Auburn team can build off of. And we'll talk about that going into the bye week. But first I want to get to the defensive side of the football. A bit of a struggle there, especially on third down. Coming into this one, I guess Arkansas converting just under, 36.8% is what you had noted in your post there. 36.8% of their third down attempts on the season, which is kind of at the bottom of the barrel for the SEC and, way up there in terms of its national ranking, or I should say way down there. With that being said, Arkansas has not had a lot of success converting on third downs, but that was not the case against this Auburn defense. What did you see from this defense, and what are some things that, obviously can be a bit concerning as they move forward with their SEC schedule?
Yeah, like you said, Arkansas has not been very good on third downs this season. They've been better the last 2 weeks. But, against Auburn, they converted 10 of 19. It's the first time all season that Auburn's allowed an opponent to convert more than 50% of their third down. So that's obviously a little bit of a concern right there. But I think the real concern is Auburn struggles on third and long situations. I can't remember the number exactly off the top of my head, but I think Arkansas converted 6 or 7 third down attempts of 6 or more yards, including a couple from 9 yards out. I think there was a 15-yarder in there too, where Auburn was being aggressive late in the first half, trying to get the ball back, and Arkansas was able to convert and then turn that into a touchdown eventually. But yeah, no, definitely the third and longs, I think, are something that, they're going to want to clean up moving forward. I think that's going to be one of their focuses heading into the bye week. But yeah, the defense, especially kind of there in the second and third quarters, just could not get off the field on third downs. And, you kind of look at it, and it kind of contributed to, a big discrepancy in time of possession in the third quarter. Now, Auburn still outscored Arkansas in the third quarter thanks to that strip sack touchdown recovery, and then, a one-play touchdown drive on that 71-yard touchdown pass from Bo Nix to Demetrius Robertson. But, Arkansas still held the ball for 12 minutes in that quarter and was really able to drain the clock late when they got their last touchdown drive there at the end of the quarter. You could tell Auburn's defense felt like it was a little bit of gas. They couldn't get off the field on third downs. But man, credit to them, because in the fourth quarter, they really stepped it up and just kind of suffocated the life out of Arkansas's hopes there. Didn't allow any points in the fourth quarter, held Arkansas only 35 yards in that period. They really stepped up when it mattered most. But I think that, those third downs are something that's going to, kind of weigh on them in the bye week.
Yeah, no doubt, going into the bye week. So obviously, you get a week off. This is the time of year, we're heading into week 8 of the college football season. And, guys are tired. Guys are banged up. Like you're not normal if you're not banged up at this point in the season. And, obviously heading into this week will certainly be a big theme to obviously not only rest, but focus on some of the fundamentals, some of the key pieces that kind of go into, this rest period, so to speak. So obviously on the back end, you get a home game against Ole Miss. Then you go to Texas A&M, which we all know is a crazy, wild, tough environment to play. Texas A&M beats Alabama. So, certainly a different team than maybe some people thought. Home against Mississippi State, at South Carolina, and then home against Alabama there to close out the regular season. So with that being said, in your opinion, Tom, what are the key areas that this Auburn team will and need to focus on during this bye week as it gets ready for the back half of the season?
Yeah, I think I already mentioned the third downs, obviously. I think this defense still needs to clean some things up. We still saw the secondary give up some big plays. I think they're, still working through some things and adjusting to Derek Mason's system, just because a lot of these guys are so accustomed to playing that press man defense that Kevin Steele taught over the, several years that he was here. So I think there's still an adjustment period. So maybe they'll kind of figure things out a little bit more during the bye week. And then on the offensive side, just reestablishing that run game, they ran the ball more this past week, though it wasn't as effective. Tank Bigsby did find the end zone, which was good for them. They were able to get some tough yardage in some key spots down the stretch. But, man, just the last 3 weeks, the run game has, really kind of fallen off after such a strong start to the season, which is a little bit of a surprise because, the offensive line, returning all 5 starters from last year, their strength last year was running the ball with those guys. So, it hasn't quite been as successful in recent weeks. And I think they're going to want to kind of get back to that and kind of reestablish that. Again, they talked all last week about wanting to get back to that downhill mentality. And yeah, they got back to it, even though, they weren't as productive on the ground. But, right, man, if you can get Tank Bigsby and Jarquez Hunter and Sean Shivers going there now down the stretch here, I think kind of the outlook of what this Auburn team is capable of finishing with record-wise kind of changes.
Yeah, definitely. Certainly, the scope of the season has definitely, kind of swayed back and forth, at times. But again, I think that there's still a lot of optimism, for this team and the direction that they can go. I think this Arkansas win was perhaps one of the best wins they could have gotten this season, especially heading into the bye week and then heading into the back half of the season in terms of momentum, mindset. I think that all will pay dividends down the road. So again, Auburn will be off, and then they go to Ole Miss. I'm sorry, they're at home against Ole Miss, 6:00, and that game will be televised 6 p.m. on ESPN. Tom, we appreciate you for joining us. We appreciate all your hard work out there. I know you've been grinding, so I know you will be excited for your bye week. Are you doing something fun for your bye week? I hope so.
Yeah, going to Denver this weekend, so that'll be fun. I'm going to go to a concert, do some hiking, and just relax.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, much deserved. You guys put in a lot of work and a lot of long hours. For those that are out there watching, these guys are up in that press box till the wee hours of the night and, turning in and then doing it all over again on Sunday and into the week just to bring you all this wonderful coverage. So, Tom, we appreciate your efforts. Enjoy your week off. And thank you to our sponsor as well. Keep Alabama beautiful. Peace out, y'all. Enjoy the